Our three candidates for city clerk are Brenna Murphy McGee, Dory Dean, and Louise Bisson. For the opening statements, we're going to start in alphabetical order by last name. So Louise, you have 3 minutes.
Hello, everyone. I just want to let you know that I've been the assistant city clerk for nearly 20 years, and within the last year I've had the opportunity to serve as a city clerk, which I feel has given me the experience and knowledge that is necessary for the position of city clerk, and therefore I believe I am the best candidate for this position. I've had the responsibility of managing the office in Susan's absence over a period of 8 months, and have presided over all elections in 2012, and also filled in as the clerk of the City Council. I'm experienced with the necessary daily functions involved in the office, and believe this will make me the best candidate. I have the experience necessary to transition the office under new leadership. It is my goal to continue to serve the citizens of Holyoke with the highest standard of service possible. This is not a political job. This is a job based on experience and knowledge and a desire to work with the people of Holyoke. I'm a public servant and a professional, not a politician, and I don't want to make promises I can't keep, but I do know we can do better than we have in the past to be more customer friendly, and I will do the best I can to see that it does happen, but I will need your vote in order to attain these goals.
I'd like to start by thanking Crush for organizing this forum this evening and everybody in attendance. The city clerk's position has been and will remain a vital foundation of how business takes place in Holyoke. While I acknowledge the work of the past city clerks, we must also acknowledge the fact that the office can be stronger by allowing ease of access of information and opportunity to its citizens. As Holyoke embraces the 21st century, there are simple innovations and solutions available for the citizens of Holyoke. I am running for city clerk because I believe I possess the required skill sets, education, and energy to dedicate my full attention to bringing the clerk's office into this new era. Information is power, and our citizens deserve this power. As the city's official record keeper, I would be committed to engaging the public in the decision-making process of our city by making available online a complete list of commissions and committees and their actions. I will also make available online commonly requested documents, business permits, and searchable databases. Publishing information online will not only save time and money for our residents, it will also save the clerk's resources. Saving money will allow the clerk's office to extend its operating hours, giving the good citizens of Holyoke convenient times to access the office. Empowering our citizens with knowledge and a way to communicate with its governing officials empowers the city. Coding for an America is an organization that engages teams of young programmers to build mobile applications to help improve government by bringing communities together to create technological solutions. In addition, a 311 system allows our citizens using a smartphone the ability to share photos and to document problems such as potholes, downed trees, and unshoveled fire hydrants. Finally, respecting Holyoke's history allows us to respect Holyoke's future. I will establish a genealogical and local history partnership with the Holyoke Public Library to house pertinent historical documents and to create a space making it easier for researchers and families to access genealogical records. If elected city clerk, I will deliver much needed public information and ensure a user-friendly government office. Serving Holyoke as the next city clerk would be an honor, and I respectfully ask for your vote on September 17th. Thank you.
Good evening. First, let me thank Paper City Pulse, the members of Crush, and tonight's media panel for putting together tonight's forum. Also, I would like to give a special thank you to the audience member here and at home for taking the time to listen to the candidates discuss the upcoming election and our visions for the future of the city clerk's office. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Brenna Murphy McGee. I am the daughter of Raymond Murphy and Lynette Reedy Murphy. My family has strong roots in the Holyoke community. I am a graduate of Mater Della Rosa School, Holyoke High School, Holyoke Community College, and I have a bachelor's degree from the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. For 6 years, I worked for our state representative, Michael F. Kane. I was hired as the legislative aide and worked my way up to chief of staff, where I managed a staff of 5 in both the State House and the district offices. Currently, I serve as a Holyoke City Councilor, and I am the chair of the Committee on Charter and Rules. I am married to Todd McGee, and we welcomed our first son, Miles Murphy McGee, 7.5 months ago. For 42 years, Susan Egan managed the city clerk's office with honor and dignity. When Susan became ill and unable to attend to her daily duties, we all witnessed firsthand the void that was created in the absence of her leadership and guidance. Susan showed me and others that the position of city clerk is not about politics. It's about providing a valuable service for the people of Holyoke. I am running to be your next city clerk of Holyoke because I believe I have the education, experience, and professionalism to bring this office to a more modernized status while at the same time not adding cost to the overall budget. I believe that the most important aspect of the city clerk's office is service to our community. The city of Holyoke deserves an open, honest, outgoing, personable, and approachable person serving them in the city clerk's office. If I am elected, one of the first things I would do is to implement a hotline for after-hour requests by our residents. I will move forward immediately with the utilization of the city's Munis system to help streamline the permitting process and help make City Hall more business-friendly. The system is already paid for and in place. We simply need to implement, train, and utilize. I will also work to cross-train employees in both the city clerk's office and registrar's office to ensure consistency with public interaction. I have volunteered for the Belchertown clerk's office, including help setting up and opening the polls for this most recent presidential election. I am a people person. I enjoy helping people, and I have spent most of my working career in constituent services, especially helping those who are in need. I believe that my experience makes me uniquely qualified for the position of Holyoke City Clerk, and I have a long-term vision to help modernize the office to make it more user-friendly and effective for our residents. Once again, thank you for tonight's forum, and I respectfully request your support on September 17th. Thank you.
Okay, for the following questions, we're going to do a different order each time in terms of who answers them. So for the first question, Dory is going to answer first. We're going to go in the same order in the rotation, so it'll be Dory and then Brenna and then Louise. And then we'll start with Brenna and continue in that same order. So, our first question comes from the public. What positive changes will you bring to the city clerk's office?
Thank you for the question. It's a great question. First of all, if elected, I'd like to come in and develop a management plan to address the service commitments, the staff commitments in terms of their time, how they use their time, how we could use it more efficiently, and also look at the processes and technology that are already in place. I'd also like to acquire an automated software package to handle city council minutes, agendas, as well, something that will also archive and index the minutes and agendas, as well as broadcast the meetings live on the internet. A lot of people I've spoken with wish that they could watch the city council meetings live on the internet. I'd also like to form a partnership with Coding for America, which would engage a lot of our younger people, and particularly some of our local colleges here, to start civil hacking. It's the good sort of hacking, so that people can form partnerships with the city clerk's office so that we can create and build applications that will be useful for the city, such as maybe implementing a program that makes sure all of our senior sidewalks are shoveled during winter storms. That's one example. The other one is the fire hydrants, making sure they're shoveled out, or making sure potholes are, taken care of and directed to the correct department. We can do that with smartphone technology. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. A lot of other municipalities have already put these sort of things in place. Boston is a great place to look at. It's got an award-winning such system in place. Thank you.
Some of the positive changes that I would like to bring to the city clerk's office would be to, first of all, cross-train staff between both offices. I think it's very important that all of the staff know all of the duties between both of the offices. I think this is something that will better serve the citizens of Holyoke. I know some residents have expressed they would like to be able to vote early. Currently, you can do an absentee ballot, but if you are caught not having a valid reason for doing an absentee, there's a heavy fine. So I think early voting is something that the city should look into. As I mentioned in my opening statement, I would like to create a hotline. If I'm elected city clerk, I will always be available to the people of Holyoke. If someone needs a marriage license and they forgot it for, say, I will always be available, and I will always come down to City Hall, open the office and get it if it's a Saturday. But this hotline that I'd like to implement would help us just do that, and I would take on the responsibilities myself. I want to be the team captain for this office. I think that the city clerk's office needs some unity, and as the city clerk, I would like to provide a positive voice for the employees, other city departments, and City Hall as a whole. Thank you.
Positive changes that I would bring would be to introduce new technology so we would be able to assist our customers better with online birth certificates and also dog licensing. And I think the cross-training of both departments would be especially beneficial to the offices either way.
In terms of the role of the clerk's office in city elections, do you believe the clerk's office can or should play a role in helping to encourage and increase Latino participation in city politics, both as candidates and as voters?
Yes, I absolutely do. One of the things that I would like to do in the city clerk's office is voter outreach, and I think that also goes along with encouraging people of anybody to run for office. I don't think we actually have enough people in the city that run for office, and so I absolutely do think so.
Yes, I think it's absolutely necessary that we get the Latino population involved. We have so many things that so many people would be able to help us to do if we could do that.
Of course, I think it's important that we try to involve more Latinos in our government. Half of this city is comprised of Latinos, and it's critical to have everybody engage in civic government and civic pride. So I would absolutely try to create an initiative that would help register more voters, make more Latino voters active at the polls and active in the political process.
Next question from the public is, how, if at all, will you use modern technology to improve the operations of the clerk's office?
We could use modern technology in the way that we could have everything available online to the public for licensing purposes and also for requesting records. But this is something that we need to work with the auditor and the treasurer to accomplish, but it is something that we are quite capable of doing and definitely need to be doing within the next few months.
I think that part of the way of streamlining the process, in particular the business permitting process, and making it fair, predictable, timely, and transparent would to create a portal on the web page for the city clerk's office so that businesses and developers interested in doing business in Holyoke can see a streamlined process. Right now, I think it takes over 8 weeks to get a business license in Holyoke. I think we can improve that, and we can do a little bit better with that by creating this portal and allowing people access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on how, where, why, when they are in the business process. So if they're held up in building codes, why? If they're held up with taxes and fees, why? Some sort of portal that outlines each sort of the business permitting process so that they can see where they're going wrong, see where we're going wrong, and correct it and move along faster. Thank you.
As stated in my opening statement, the City of Holyoke already has Munis system in place. It's paid for, and it's already implemented. If I am elected, I would like to see the staff trained and the software in place. Modern technology such as Munis will help streamline the business permitting process as well as make the office run more efficiently. I have also filed an order through the City Council to have the city look into getting a debit and credit card machine. If this is implemented, this will allow the city to have customers come in and pay right in the office with their debit or credit card rather than just a check or cash. This will also allow the process to be started to be able to pay for these sorts of things online. I will look into different types of revenue streams to pay for these things. I will make forms and documents more readily available online, all while making sure the proper securities are put in place. Thank you.
Matt Safransky of Western Mass Politics and Insight.
Good evening, candidates. My question looks at the first basic point that a lot of your duties of your job are actually outlined very specifically in statute, both state and to a lesser extent municipal ordinance, and you're certainly subjected to the decisions that the council and the mayor make in terms of what discretion you have. What discretion do you think you actually have in terms of this office, and how will you execute it better for the citizens of Holyoke?
Thanks for the question. I think that's a great question. There are specific duties outlined for the clerk's office, and I've had some conversations over the past few weeks with voters and residents, and one of them was, is the city clerk responsible also for the city's webpage, since, you know, in this time of technology, that it's where all the information for the city is housed. So that's something I'd like to explore and see if the city clerk could possibly take over the city's webpage. I don't know if that's in bounds or out of bounds. I don't know if that falls under the mayor's purview. But I think I'd really need to get into the office, sit down, and talk with the staff and see who's been there and see just how much I could flex in terms of what my powers would be. Thanks.
A lot of the powers of the office the responsibilities of the office are defined by statute or municipal ordinance, suggesting that there isn't a great deal of discretion that you actually have in the position itself. What discretion do you see the office as having, and how would you execute it?
Serving in my 4th year on the Holyoke City Council, I think that I have a really good insight on this. I think that it is important that the city clerk is, I'm trying to think of the best word, but they have to work for 15 city councilors, and I think that that's really important, that they are very compassionate to each one of those. There's 15 different personalities in that room, and I think that because the clerk is the keeper of the ordinance book, that's something that they need to keep in mind, that they are in charge of the city council, they're in charge of the agenda, and giving notices of the meetings, preparing agendas, performing various other functions that the city council requires. Thank you.
I would like to say that the state law does dictate many of the duties that we do have, and therefore we are limited as to the discretions that we may take with certain items as in vital records. And also there are other directives that we need to take from the Registry of Vital Records too. So we are quite limited as to the discretion that we can use in our office.
At a last check of the city's website, the clerk's page, the clerk's office currently employs the clerk, an assistant clerk, a second assistant clerk, a head clerk, and a principal clerk. This is kind of a multiple part question here, so bear with me. Do you feel at this point the office is appropriately staffed, overstaffed, or understaffed? And how would you allocate resources among the how would you allocate responsibilities among those existing positions to better serve the public? And what changes, if any, would you make among those existing positions?
I think that's a really great question, and I think one of the things we need to keep in mind is that all of the staff, except for the assistant, are union employees. Before you go around changing people's job descriptions and their job duties, you need to keep in mind that union negotiations are necessary. I do think that the city clerk's office is properly staffed. I do think that they may have some problems with when census comes in, but I think that they are doing a really good job working as a team. One of my ideas maybe could be to make one assistant, but that would be something that I would have to see if the office wanted that. But at this time, I think we just need to keep in mind that these employees are union employees. Thank you.
I would like to say that, as Brenna stated, we are all union employees in that office with the exception of me, the assistant, and that we do all work well together. And if one person is not there to do the job, then someone else is there to do the job, and there is cooperation among all of us. And I feel that we are staffed quite well at times, and sometimes we could use extra help, especially at election time. Thank you.
I think that's a great question, and I believe I need to assess the situation when I stepped in there. I haven't had too much experience with the clerk's office and their staff, but every time I've gone in there, I've gotten great service. Many of my solutions are technology-based, such as making available online commonly requested documents, creating an interactive web page, streamlining the business permitting system, and organizing raw data into searchable databases. Publishing this type of information online will not only save time and money for our residents, it'll save the clerk's resources. Lack of resources has been cited many times over the years why the city clerk's office is not open on one of the most important days of the year, which is Election Day. So I believe that by implementing technology, we'll be able to alleviate some of the stresses that the clerk's office endures right now. Thank you.
Okay, that's all the questions we have for the city clerk candidates. So we will now hear their 1-minute closing statements.
Once again, thank you to everyone involved in tonight's debate process. I believe Holyoke is entering a new beginning with regards to the clerk's office. As I stated earlier, I believe I am the person with the education, experience, and professionalism necessary for bringing valuable change to the city clerk's office, while at the same time maintaining a high level of service and integrity that was established by former city clerks Susan Egan and Jimmy Shea. I respectfully request your vote on September 17th, Brenna Murphy McGee. Thank you.
The city clerk's office is here to serve the public in the ways the law provides. I have enjoyed my years of service to the citizens of Holyoke and others and would like to continue doing the job as city clerk. I have the experience and knowledge necessary to fulfill the obligations associated with the position of city clerk. I've spent most of my life in the city of Holyoke and am proud to call this city my home. As a public servant, the one thing I can tell you is this: I will do my very best to make sure the city clerk's office is always willing and able to serve the citizens of Holyoke. Thank you.
This year's municipal elections provide an amazing opportunity to modernize the city clerk's office. There are simple innovations available that must be implemented to allow the citizens of Holyoke ease of access in engaging its government and to create opportunities for growth and civic collaboration. I am running for city clerk because I believe I possess the required skills, education, and energy to dedicate my full attention to bringing the clerk's office into the 21st century. I have a plan, and if elected, I will be able to execute and implement innovative solutions in the clerk's office by creating tangible change within the first year. Serving Holyoke as its next city clerk would be an honor, and I respectfully ask for your vote on September 17th. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenna, Dory, and Louise.